Hi, I'm Chris Wilson from Grinding Gear Games.
Hola.
Thanks for joining us for today's live stream as we reveal our upcoming expansion, The Forbidden Sanctum, which launches on December 9th on PC and Mac and on December 14th on console.
El día 9 empieza.
Twitch drops are enabled on today's live stream.
Drops,
so
si
make sure
estáis
you
en el
follow the
directo,
instructions below in order to
puedo
clean
subirlo
your
un poco,
blood-guard
sí.
wings. Here's what you can expect from today's live stream. We'll start by debuting the trailer for The Forbidden
El tráiler.
Sanctum, and we'll then do a deep dive on the league itself. We'll cover this expansion's new endgame revamps and content.
Vale, endgame, nuevas habilidades y nuevos únicos y bufos únicos. Y, o sea, y bufo de únicos. Bien. Bien.
We'll then briefly cover some balance topics that we have posted articles about recently. Jewels, curses, and the replacement of the arch-nemesis.
Arch-nemesis a tomar por suco.
Finally, we'll discuss the upcoming release of the optional Ruthless.
A nadie le importa Ruthless. Vale, Quality of Life Improvements. Ojo.
The live stream concludes with a Q&A session between Ziggy D and me, where we'll answer questions from Twitch chat. Then we'll drop the full
Vamos a ver el tráiler, que viene el tráiler.
Let's get started with the trailer for the Forbidden Sanctum, which launches in 1 week.
No hace falta que pongáis drops, es automático. Silencio. A ver. A ver.
Many have met their fate here in
¿Quién está hablando?
So step
No.
lightly.
No, que
But
no se ha
here you
parecido a
are
Haste.
bound by new rules. My
¡Es Zana! No. ¡Hostia, algunas habilidades! ¡Hostia, los bosses!
each step with gold to tempt you.
¿Ves? Recompensa, ¿vale?
A foe to wound you.
Vale, dime que es un roguelike. Dime que es un
A
roguelike.
curse to spite you.
¡Sí! Ah, bueno,
But
sí,
do not
sí.
give up.
O sea, es un
For
roguelike,
vast
vale.
riches await the bold.
¡Uy! Eliges tú la recompensa. ¡Qué guapo! Haste 2, que os calléis, hostia. ¡Un roguelike! ¡Lo sabía! ¡Lo sabía! ¡Qué guapo! ¡Qué chulo! Vale, nuevas habilidades. ¡Hala! ¡Hostias, está guapo! La Star Force, dame la Star Force. ¡Lo sabía! Nah, Ruthless no le importa a nadie. ¡Qué guapo! Mira qué guapo. Broma. Nuevos únicos. Endgame que dan. Vale. Pasivas nuevas. Vale. Dios, qué guapo lo de los gigantes. ¡Pero es Zana! ¡Dios! Vale, bien. Vale, vamos bien. Vamos bien. Buen inicio, buen inicio. Uber Abyss, era Uber Abyss, ¿verdad? La Starflow is back. Sí, sí, sí. Dios. Vale, vale. Yo de momento estoy contento.
The Forbidden Sanctum is an old Templar enclave, long rumored to be hidden beneath the Fell Shrine ruins.
Vale.
Abandoned for a long time, it is now controlled by a malevolent entity. In this league, you'll explore it, find out its secrets, and deal with the evil that lurks there.
Tienes que hacer tratos
The
con los
Sanctum
demonios.
Challenge League is a roguelike game.
¡Lo sabía! ¡Lo habéis oído! ¡Roguelike game! ¡Chupaos esa! Haters de
In every
mierda.
area or map you enter,
Haters,
you can make a
haters,
choice of
también.
which room in the Sanctum you will explore next. On the Sanctum map, you can see the contents
¡Vamos!
of the few rooms ahead, enabling you to
¡Vamos!
plot a path through its dangerous halls. And the Sanctum is dangerous.
¡Lo
Like
sabía!
most roguelikes, you should not expect to be able to complete it on your first try. Getting to the deeper floors
Vais a tener que
requires
hacer los
experience,
runs una y otra
knowledge,
vez,
and
como
luck.
en los
You
roguelikes.
should expect that your early attempts will fail, but over time, you'll be able to push
Vas a
yourself
esperarte que
farther
las
and
primeras
farther.
runs vayas a
As you progress
fallar
deeper into the Sanctum,
hasta que
you'll
vayas
find a variety
mejorando
of treasures that
la
help you
run.
eventually fight your way through the dangers
¡Dios!
that
Los
await
bosses
you
se
through
ven
this fourth floor.
espectacularmente bonitos.
Eventually, by endgame, you may be able to push through all 4 floors to face the final boss. Every roguelike needs a resource to help you track how well the run is going. In
Wow.
the Forbidden Sanctum, it is your resolve, indicated by this bar here. As you explore the Sanctum, your resolve is threatened by the dangers within. When you lose all of your resolve, your Sanctum run ends.
Vale, o sea,
Your level of resolve is
runes, un
maintained
sistema de
between
runes.
consecutive rooms on your run, but is only shown when you're
Buah,
in
se
the
ve
sanctum
brutal,
itself. The resolve mechanic applies equally to all build archetypes. Your resolve is reduced when you are hit by monsters or environmental hazards.
Es lo que he
in the
dicho,
sanctum,
vas a poder
and
jugar
these
casi
telegraphed
cualquier build
attacks are not affected by
porque vas a
regular
poder,
path of exile
o sea,
defensive
buah, qué guapo.
mechanics, such as evasion, armor, or block. While these attacks do some nominal damage to your regular life, the bulk of their impact is against your resolve. This
Es que
mechanic
se ve
provides a
visualmente,
mechanism
se ve
for tracking your
increíble.
progress between rooms, where your regular life pool would long ago have been recovered.
Wow.
Another aspect of the resolve system is that characters who are struggling can be ejected from the sanctum without actually having to die, avoiding experience loss or hardcore death.
O sea, que hay
Maintaining
forma
a
de
healthy
salir para
level of
los
resolve
hardcore.
is key as you navigate the sanctum, and that means making careful choices of what rooms you enter.
Claro,
Let's
vas a
have a
tener
look
que
at some of
elegir
the
dónde
things that
entrar.
sanctum rooms can contain. Afflicted rooms
Distintos
cause you to
riesgos,
gain
distintas
infliction when you
recompensas.
enter.
No se va a poder jugar
Afflictions
build
make your
tanque, sí.
sanctum run more
Es lo que han
difficult.
dicho, sí.
For example, reducing your resolve recovery, causing rewards to become hidden on the sanctum map, or causing sanctum rooms to spawn volatile anomalies that follow you.
Claro.
These minor afflictions accumulate as you get deeper and
O sea,
deeper
vais a
into
poder
a run,
elegir
making it
distintos
more
riesgos
challenging.
según avanza.
Major afflictions exist and are a big deal. They have significant consequences, such as entirely preventing the recovery of resolve. So, a sanctum run gets harder and harder as you pick up more afflictions.
Va a ser
Sounds
más
great,
difícil y más difícil,
but
como en los
every roguelike
roguelikes.
needs a way for you to gain power throughout your run. In the Forbidden Sanctum, that system is boons. Boons are beneficial buffs that help you as you progress
¿Ves?
through the sanctum.
Ahí están los buffos,
Minor
lo
boons
que os he
make things a
dicho.
little easier, such as slowing down monsters or adding a special shield
¿Ves?
to your resolve called Inspiration. Major boons don't come along
O
often,
vais a ir
and have large
eligiendo
effects,
distintos
such as
buffos
preventing you from
para
receiving more
ir más
minor
tocho.
afflictions, or recovering your resolve to 50%
¿Ves? No puedes
the next time
recibir
you run
minor
out.
aflicción o
Due to
recuperas
the
tu
vast
vida,
variety
cosas
of
así.
afflictions and boons, no two runs are the same.
No,
Generally
también
speaking,
hay
your best
mapeo,
sanctum
también hay
runs are the
mapeo,
ones
no
where the
solo
afflictions
bosses.
you choose have little effect on you, and the boons either counteract them or have a large
pongo
benefit
arriba.
for the strategy you're running. Some rooms in the sanctum contain a fountain, which will restore some of your lost
Wow.
resolve.
¿Ves?
Others
Buah,
contain
es como un
afflicted
roguelike, tío.
fountains that restore even more resolve at a cost. Rooms with a treasure reward contain chests full of the Templar Aureus
Buah,
currency. a type
era el
of gold
momento de un
coin they use for
roguelike.
commerce within their sanctum.
Es que parece
You'll
súper
also find
dinámico,
some
tío.
Aureus coins from monsters that you kill as you
Parece
explore.
súper
These are
dinámico.
picked up automatically,
Tiene
like
una pinta
Azurite,
divertido.
and are not tradable, and like your afflictions and boons, are lost when your sanctum run ends. Some rooms contain a merchant who accepts your Aureus coins in
Merchant.
exchange for boons. Plan your purchases carefully, as you may encounter the
¿Ves? Ahí
merchant again
compráis
later on, even
mejoras.
more expensive boons to purchase.
Como en el brotato.
Occasionally, the sinister powers controlling the sanctum will present you with the choice of making an accursed pact.
Cursed
You
Pact.
are given
Esto es
several
como el
pacts to
Isaac.
choose from, and can even opt to take all
Esto
that
es
you are
como en
offered.
el Isaac,
All
que
pacts
puedes
have a
hacer
big
pactos
upside
del
and a big
diablo.
downside, such as exchanging a portion of your maximum resolve for a random major boon. It's very dangerous to make a
Wow.
pact, but if you pick the right circumstances, your
El
gamble
drop
could pay
está
off.
para elegir, Razer. Ahora irán con el
In
drop.
addition to rewards that help you progress through the sanctum, many rooms let you immediately receive Path of Exile currency items.
¿Ves?
But with
Ahí
a
está,
twist.
aquí está la
Whenever you're
recompensa.
offered some currency
Mira.
items that you can receive right away,
6
you're also offered a
Gemcutters,
more valuable
18
option
caos.
that will be waiting for you after the boss fight at the end of the current floor of the sanctum. It's a gamble, because if you fail your run before you reach and defeat the boss, you will not receive the reward you picked.
No recibe la recompensa. O sea, las recompensas van al boss. Muy parecido, o sea, salvando las distancias como en Ultimatum.
At a specific point in the Forbidden Sanctum storyline, you'll discover a special altar that Templar relics can be placed on. These relics directly affect your Sanctum runs and are not lost when a run ends. They persist throughout the league as a permanent
Ahora
source
esto
of
se
meta
parece mazo al Isaac, tío. Qué
Acquiring
bueno.
new and better relics
Como
is one of
los
the ways you can
ítems
push
del
farther
Isaac.
and farther with each run you try.
Qué guapo.
Relics cannot be crafted and cannot be traded, as they represent your personal progression throughout the league.
Y no se pueden
You'll
ni
accumulate
tradear
more than you can use
ni nada.
simultaneously,
A ver, en
so
el
you'll have
diseño se
options of
parece a
fine-tuning
Haste.
your
¿Por qué?
strategy from
Porque
run to
son
run.
reliquias.
You can store
Oh,
your extra relics in
no,
the relic
no es
locker,
nada de
a free
Haste, hijos
storage
de...
space like the Expedition Locker. We don't want to spoil important story
Hostia.
details, but the end boss of the Forbidden Sanctum can drop
Tiene
unique
adicional
items from a pool exclusive
Elemental
to this league.
Damage Reduction equal
Today
to
we'd like
half
to show you
your
a
Chaos
unique amulet
Resistance.
called Eternal Damnation. This amulet offers a powerful way to gain
¡Hostia!
additional elemental
O sea, si
mitigation
tienes
by introducing
75 de
the concept
resist
of
al caos,
elemental damage
reduces el daño elemental a la
Despite the
mitad.
drawback of reducing your maximum
Casi.
resistances,
Ah,
if
pero
you have
menos 5 a las
sufficient
resist
chaos
máximas.
resistance, this is more than compensated for. Because of the roguelike nature of the Forbidden Sanctum, Defeating the boss of a floor is a difficult achievement and hence rewards a lot of experience.
Es muy de
You may
matar
fail on
bosses,
the way, so if you do manage it, expect a good experience boost for your achievement.
Wow.
Another reward you can find is a special type of relic called a sanctified relic that has
Ah,
mods that directly affect your character's build.
Qué
You can
guapo.
only unlock one
Qué
slot
guapo.
for
Vas a
this type
poder
of relic, and
personalizar
while these relics
según
can't
tu
be
build.
crafted through
Esto va a estar
conventional
muy
means,
guapo,
you may find
porque
special
significa
reward
que va a haber
rooms in the
builds
Sanctum that can
muy
modify it.
tochas
These relics exist for this
para
league
este
only,
contenido en
provide a boost to
específico.
character
O
power
sea, va a haber
for players who are
personajes que
able to
estén
master the Sanctum.
rotísimos,
The
pero
Sanctum League offers a
para
roguelike experience
las
that forces you into
runes
taking
en
risks and
específico.
rewards
Eso me
you if those
encanta,
pay off.
tío.
There's a lot to explore in the Sanctum, and we can't wait to hear
Va,
about your
si te
experiences
tocan
next
movidas,
week.
por ejemplo, es que se ve visualmente, se ve
In each
brutal.
expansion leading up to Path of Exile 2's release, we're
Wow.
improving Path of Exile's
Vale, vamos con el
endgame
endgame.
with new content
El
to
árbol,
explore
dame el
and
árbol.
improvements to how you customize your endgame experience.
Dame el árbol.
In the Forbidden Sanctum expansion, we're revamping the Atlas tree, reworking how Eldritch altars function, and are introducing 2 new Atlas memories.
Vale, 2 memorias
The
nuevas.
Atlas tree is generally working really well, but has a few problems we'd like to address.
Cambian el
The
Atlas.
tree offers you the
Cambian
ability
el
to
árbol de
specialize in
pasivas.
killing pinnacle bosses, providing extra rewards when you do so. While
Otra
this sounds
vez.
good on paper, it creates a situation where you're incentivized to specialize your tree for regular mapping, save up all of your boss fights, then respec fully into boss mode,
Vale.
and then do all of your saved up boss
Vale.
fights before specking back again.
Sí.
Ideally, the design of the Atlas tree would let
Dice
you
que
spec into
lo que
one
está
build
haciendo la
and then just
gente
play
es
the game.
mapea,
We have
coge
removed
cosas
all
de
boss
bosses
bonuses from the Atlas tree and have baked some of them into
y
the
luego
actual
cambia el
base
árbol a
bodies of the
bosses.
boss fights. For example, you don't need to allocate the Gaze into the Abyss notable that makes the Elder more likely to drop a Watcher's Eye, as he just has that drop chance built in now. The Atlas tree is now
Vale.
focused on allowing you to specialize into content that you encounter in every map. We also
Vale,
want
ahora el
you to
Atlas no
specialize
se va a
into your
centrar en
favorite
bosses
leagues,
y
even
los
more deeply on the
beneficios que
Atlas tree.
recibían los bosses
For
del
each of the
árbol
10 leagues
se lo
that
dan
the
a los
tree
bosses
lets you disable,
directamente.
We've added a bunch
¡Qué
more passives to
bueno!
the tree. These new passives allow you to increase the league's spawn chance to much higher levels than currently possible and juice the league even further than before.
¡Qué guapo, tío! Eso me parece
We're
brutal.
making a number of
Eso me
changes to
parece muy
Eldritch
bueno.
altars that mostly
Ya no
affect
hace
the
falta
rewards,
hacer
but will
respect al
also
árbol
affect gameplay
entre
decisions you make
mapeo
involving them.
y boseo.
Some of the key changes include splitting
Vale,
up
aquí
the
cambian
basic currencies,
lo de que cambian
scarab, and
del...
divination card rewards to be explicit in their description
¡Hostia!
of what
Ve,
rewards you'll get.
2,8% de
For
dropear
example,
un
instead of
caos.
map bosses
¿Ves?
dropping
Esto es lo
three
que
unknown
os
basic
dije.
currency
Ahora
items, the
van a
author
ser
specifically says which currency item they'll drop.
las
As part
recompensas
of
que
this
dan los
change,
altares,
we've
vas a
removed some of
saber
the
qué
lower
es.
value, yet quite common
¿Sabes?
currency rewards from the pool, such as orbs of augmentation and orbs of transmutation. Speaking of
Y quitan
scarabs,
la
these will be
currency de
less
mierda,
available
como
from altars, but
transmutation
we've
y todo
improved
eso.
their
O
availability
sea,
elsewhere
realmente
to
cuando te
offset.
salga currency en la...
Rusted scarabs can
en
now
los
drop from the
altares,
core drop pool, and we've added a
aquí lo
vendor
de
recipe that allows you to upgrade your
los
scarabs
scarabs
up to
pueden
guild gear
caer,
using the normal 3-to-1
se pueden
ratio.
vender, esto ya lo
You can
sabíamos.
also perform this action from your fragment tab using the new upgrade button. We have made reward types exclusive to different influences, so that you know which influence type to invest in if you want to target farm a certain reward. To give you a
Le han dado
specific example, if you run maps influenced by, say, Eater of Worlds, you'll see divine orbs from the basic currency reward more than twice as often as before. We've also rebalanced rewards
Vale,
so
ahora
that
lo
choices
cuento.
that affect boss drops or influence monster drops are comparatively more valuable.
Vale, van a
The Wrath of the
dividir el
Cosmos
tipo de
Keystone has been
recompensa en
reworked.
según la
Previously, it
influencia.
was so rewarding that players
Wow.
felt obligated to use it despite its extreme level of difficulty. It has retained the risk versus reward element, but with the overall
Ese es
intensity
el nodo
toned down.
cambiado.
You can now also get awakened gems from defeating Maven.
Mira, esto es lo que os he dicho. Ahora
This
cuando matéis
additional
algunos
reward helps
bosses
further balance the
vistos
expected
por
returns
Maven,
from the various types of influence.
os
For
podrán
more
tirar
detail
una
on
gema
these
Awakened.
changes, check out the balance manifesto we posted last week.
Incluso
Or the
las tochas,
patch
como la Multistrike.
In the Lake of
Memorias
Kyber
nuevas.
expansion, we introduced Atlas memories.
A ver si las
When
mejoran.
applied to your Atlas, they unlock a sequence of maps that tells the story of an NPC's past. These stories manifest as specialized encounters that involve a new challenge and exciting rewards. In this expansion, we've introduced 2 new Atlas memories,
A ver, ¿cuáles?
describing events related to bestiary and domination. The bestiary memory line allows you to capture
Bestiary
harvest monsters as
y
beasts for your
Domination.
menagerie.
Bosses.
These harvest beasts can be used in 9 new beast crafting recipes.
9
These recipes
crafteos
cover an array
nuevos.
of options. For example, you can remove one of the special modifiers from a Watcher's Eye jewel and then add another. This can have potent results, but won't
¿Qué?
affect the life, mana, or energy shield
Rerolear
values.
un modificador de
You
una
can reroll
Watcher.
an awakened gem from one type to another.
Cambiar el tipo de la Awakened.
Another example is that you can also reroll a synthesis implicit modifier.
¿Qué?
If your item has more than one synthesis implicit, it will randomly reroll one of them. The Domination Atlas memory thrusts you into a tale of pantheon
Vale,
gods
mejoran
and
bestiario
watchers
guay.
at shrines. Like regular shrines, these are guarded by monsters and emit a buff that empowers the monsters until you claim
Nuevos
that buff
shrines.
yourself. This Atlas memory introduces a new set of shrines with specialized buffs, guarded by rare monsters that drop tantalizing rewards.
O sea, ahora, o sea,
The Forbidden
qué
Sanctum
guay.
expansion
Fracturing
introduces a new
Orb.
type of shard that can drop from Harbingers, Fracturing Shards. When combined together into a full currency item, you get the Fracturing Orb, which behaves the same as the Fracturing Craft from Harvest. It can be used on any rare item with at least 4 modifiers. When the orb is applied, it locks one of the modifiers in place so that further crafting efforts do not affect that modifier. Items fractured in this way can only have one fractured modifier. Previously, this crafting option was gated behind the Oshabi fight in Harvest. Now that it has been rehomed to Harbinger, the Harvest crafting option is no longer
Vale,
available.
se lo quitan a
This
Harvest y
means
se
that
lo
you'll
dan a
be able to use your
Harbinger, vale.
Harvest Life Force and Oshabi kills on other crafts. Because fracturing shards drop from Harbingers, you'll be able to target farm them by speccing into Harbinger content on your Atlas tree.
Vale, no me disgusta.
The Forbidden
Ok,
Sanctum
pero
expansion
F
introduces a
Divination
number of
Shard.
new skill gems.
Nuevas
In
habilidades,
addition
a
to
ver.
some new melee Val skills we'll discuss later in the livestream, there are 2 totally new skills that we'd like to unveil today.
¿Dos? ¿Ha dicho dos?
Volcanic Fissure is a new fiery slam skill that can be used with staves, maces, axes, and unarmed attacks. Strike the ground to create a chasm that winds towards your target.
Es como Tectonic
This
Slam,
chasm
¿no?
can path around corners before erupting as the fissure gets as close as it can reach. It releases a burst of fiery projectiles.
O sea, si hay un
that
enemigo
explode and strike
cercano,
the ground.
explota directamente.
Enemies hit by multiple impacts will take a lot of stacked damage.
O sea, y se puede
Use it up
stackear
close
si
for
golpea varias
bursts
veces.
of damage
Es
or
como
aim
Molten
far away
Strike,
to
pero
damage a larger area.
bien, ¿no?
Frozen Legion is an unusual spell, summoning a ring of icy statues that attack with your own weapon damage. This skill has multiple cooldown stacks and consumes all cooldown uses at once to summon a statue for each available cooldown. The statues perform a sweeping ice slash, and these sweeps can overlap, resulting in multiple hits against targets close to you. This spell can be used with staves, maces, and axes. The skill is particularly powerful with slow, heavy weapons, as while the statues will use your attack speed, you should instead prioritize the spell's own cast time and cooldown.
Anda ya,
This
cuanto más
expansion
lenta sea el
also
arma, mejor.
introduces many new
Nuevas
Val
skills
melee
Baal
skills.
melee.
As you know, equipping a Val skill gem grants you both the Val and regular version of the
Vale.
skill. As you kill enemies, the gem charges up with their souls, and after a certain number are collected,
A
the
ver.
Val skill can be used once.
A ver.
Most of the new Val skills introduced in this expansion are melee skills, and this results in an indirect buff to any melee
Most.
builds that use one of these skills. Where previously you'd just be using your melee skill to kill enemies, you now get to periodically use a super-powered version of the skill. If you like Flicker Strike, you'll love Val Flicker Strike, as it
Val
really dials up
Flicker
the
Strike!
concept of letting fate take the wheel.
¿Qué?
Val Flicker Strike causes you to flicker dozens of extra times, slashing enemies. During this time, you don't deal any damage to the enemies you slash. You're quite vulnerable due to not leeching or generating fortify stacks. When you finish flickering, if you survived of course, you'll be rewarded with a single huge hit of damage against each enemy you slashed.
¡Qué guapo!
Val Cleave is a new Val skill that buffs the behavior
Es
of
Baal,
the
o sea,
Val
solo la
version,
podréis usar de
in a
vez en
similar
cuando.
way to how Val Reeve works.
¿Cómo
Val
funciona
Cleave
Val Reeve?
triggers 2 buffs, one when you kill a rare enemy, and one when you kill either a rare or unique enemy. The latter is a strong buff to regular cleave, which you can keep up almost permanently if you're able to kill rare or unique enemies often enough. The bonus for killing a rare enemy is that you get to steal its mods for a time. You can enjoy part of the power of having a headhunter without actually needing to find one.
O sea, Clive
Overall, Val
hace
Cleave is a pretty powerful upgrade.
de Headhunter,
from
se
melee
lleva los
buff
buffos de los
with
bichos.
Cleave. That +2 radius buff is looking pretty good now,
¿Esto
right?
cuenta como buff a Clive o no, chicos?
We'll showcase the other new Val skills we're introducing over the coming week. The Forbidden Sanctum expansion introduces over 15 new unique items, from Sanctum exclusive uniques to
Únicos
ones that can
nuevos,
be
me
found
interesa,
from
porque
Path
me
of
huelo
Exile
algo
bosses.
tocho.
I'd like to show you 3 examples of these, designed by winners of our prior league's boss kill races.
Los han diseñado ganadores de
Genesis
eventos.
is a unique amethyst flask
frasco
that
de
was designed
caos.
by Ben and drops from the Uber Maven. It's a defensive flask that grants a mini version of the Petrified Blood effect, but without
Hostia.
requiring you to be on low life. This is a useful tool to prevent you getting one-shot by large amounts of incoming damage in scary situations.
Tiene mucha duración.
Rational Doctrine
Cuando
is a
recibes
unique tool that
daño,
was
se
designed by
da a lo
Rollins
largo del
and
tiempo.
drops
¡Qué
from
guapo!
Uber Venarius.
Para tanquear
By
eso es Dios.
manipulating your attributes, you can change how this jewel behaves. While the ideal dream outcome is that you manage to get your strength and intelligence
Prof and
tied to
Ground,
highest,
¿eso qué es?
enabling both of the benefits simultaneously, the jewel is still very powerful if it only grants your choice of permanent consecrated ground.
Está
or
guapa
permanent
esta,
profane ground.
Esto te
On
da
top of
inmunidad a las
Devastation
curses,
is a pair of
básicamente.
unique gloves that were designed by Gucci
Te da Call of
Brothers
the Steel.
and drop from the Uber Shaper. Currently, the
Uber-Shaper.
ways to get Spell Impale are very limited.
Incrementa el efecto del impale infligido por las
spells.
spells. Critical Strike con Spell
So let's talk
inflige
about
impale.
unique weapons.
¿Qué?
Specifically, endgame unique weapons.
Han
In
bufado
many
muchos
ways, the
únicos.
weapon is the most iconic and important item on a character, so it's very important that we make them exciting and worthy of their unique status. While some unique weapons have special properties that enable entirely new builds, others are best
Los
content of
objetos
powerful
únicos,
rare
muchos de ellos se
items
supone
as a
que están
primary source of
diseñados
your character's depth.
para tener algún efecto
We have to be very
único
careful when pitching
que
the
no te
power
lo
level of
puedas
these
conseguir
unique
de otra
weapons.
manera.
If they're not powerful enough, then they're useless and are ignored. But if they're too powerful, then they discourage entire archetypes of characters from trying to find or craft rare weapons. Interestingly, the
Dice que le han
above
dedicado
problem doesn't
tiempo.
apply to belts. Despite Mageblood and Headhunter both existing as extremely powerful unique items, people still craft plenty of rare belts. That's because Mageblood and Headhunter are extremely rare, and people don't actually expect they'll reliably get one in a league. Players tend to treat them as luxury upgrades to their build, rather than something they're certain to get. In this expansion, we're promoting 10 iconic but underused
10
unique weapons to the same
icónicos
tier of rarity as
únicos
Mageblood and
los
Headhunter.
van a bufar.
We are buffing them a gigantic amount and are making them incredibly hard to find. Remember when
Pero los han
Starforge
hecho
used
mucho
to be
más
an
raros.
exciting item? Well, after this change, it certainly is again. It still drops exclusively from the Shaper and the
Hostia,
Uber Shaper, but it'll take a lot of runs or a
435
lot
de
of
increase
luck to
physical
earn.
damas.
Over the next week, we'll reveal the other unique weapons that have been massively buffed. We have targeted
El
around
Lion
10
Exile.
iconic underused unique weapons and have
Hostia,
generally buffed only their
mucho
damage
DPS,
stats, but by a lot.
Vale.
We've made a number of changes to jewels that are covered in a
Ha dicho
recent balance
12, ¿no?
manifesto, but in case you missed it, we want to quickly summarize what the changes are. In the Forbidden Sanctum expansion, we have made jewels a better source of ailment mitigation by buffing the values of ailment.
Esto ayudó a que las jewels fuesen mejores.
Modifiers that enable mitigation
Mucho.
to a wider variety of
Ahora van a
ailments
tener
than
hasta un
before.
50%
We've
en vez
also
de un
removed some
25%.
ailment mitigation modifiers that were only available on jewels through corruption, because there are now better options through the regular jewel mod pool.
Es que había algunos
This also
modificadores
means
que
that
solo
other
podías
desirable
conseguir
corruption
con una
modifiers,
corrupción y
like
ahora no.
immunity to corrupting blood, are more likely to roll.
Sí,
We
los
want
han
the
subido
moment
hasta
of finding a
50
unique
Santi,
jewel to be
en las
way more
avis.
exciting than it currently is.
Modifiers to
We've added a
ignite
handful
on
of
you
new, very
apply
powerful unique jewels
to
and have
all
removed some
elemental
old, less interesting
ailments.
ones.
¿Cómo?
An example of one of these new unique jewels is
Ignite
Firesong,
Duration. O sea, los
which
modificadores
propagates
del
any
Ignite Duration
modifiers to
aplican a
ignite
todos los
mitigation
elementos.
to other elemental ailments. If you're able to substantially reduce the duration of ignites on you, then you can use Firesong to basically shrug off any elemental ailment. For full information about the other
Hostia,
changes to
qué
unique
curioso.
jewels, check out the Balance Manifesto post we made recently. We've rebalanced curses to
No,
make them
pero eso es
stronger
para el
in the
ignite que
meta modes against
infliges.
unique monsters and pinnacle bosses.
Claro, aplica al
We have
chill, al
buffed several
shock,
hex-related
al
unique
brite.
items and reworked unique items that previously interacted with Doom.
A ver, Socket
To
Ground.
replace
No me ha
the
dado tiempo a
Doomsday
verlo.
Keystone passive, we've brought back a version of an iconic curse-related keystone from the past.
Aplica al que recibes. Ah,
We've
vale.
introduced some powerful new unique items that interact
Ah,
with
o sea, si
hexes,
te
which
haces
we'll
que el
reveal in the
ignite te
lead-up
dure
to launch.
0.
For more details on changes to curses, check out the Balance Manifesto we posted recently, or the patch notes that will come out after the livestream concludes.
Sí, 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 sí.
When we first
Qué guapo,
created
eso
the
mola,
Archnemesis
bueno.
monster mod system, our goal
Con una
was to
jewel.
improve Path of Exile's outdated set of monster mods with new
Vale,
and
aquí
interesting
lo de
mechanics
quitan
that have modern
Archnemesis.
game balance.
Aplausos.
We feel that Archnemesis did introduce a lot of interesting mechanics, but it unfortunately had several of its own problems. We have replaced Archnemesis with a system that is more similar to the way monster mods
Mira,
worked in the
tiene
past.
modificadores normales.
The new monster mods are a
Qué
lot
guay.
simpler. They now each do one thing and very
Mira, y
clearly
te lo
state
pone
what they
Endurance Charge en
do.
Hit.
Each encounter with a
Lightning
rare
no sé
monster
qué.
is now
Energy,
less
Aura,
complex and
Crit.
is easier to understand in the heat
Crit
of combat
Resistance.
compared to Archnemesis.
¡Gracias! No era tan difícil,
You'll still
hostia.
encounter challenging
Ahora ves un
combinations
raro
of
y te
mods
pone
from
abajo
time
lo
to
que
time,
hace.
but this emergent synergy will be rarer than it was under Archnemesis. The goal is that combat is interesting and varied, with moments that get your heart racing, but without the frustrations of the Archnemesis system.
¿Ves? Ese
Let's talk
tiene
about
mucho
rewards.
daño y mucha mierda,
Under
pero no
Archnemesis, it
aguanta.
often felt mandatory to bring in a
Fuah,
magic
ya era hora,
fund
macho.
culling character to kill some monsters for you in order to maximize
Esto es lo del
your
Goblin,
rewards.
va a hablar ahora.
In the new system, we've added a significant pool of new rewards to rares, but the reward that is on the monster is hidden and not associated with a specific mod, so you don't know what kind of rewards you will get until you kill the monster. Rare monsters with more mods are more likely to have these special hidden reward bonuses. To find out more about other balance changes that are taking place in the Forbidden Sanctum, check out the patch notes which will be
Vale,
available
la
in the live
recompensa
stream
no dependerá ahora de un
Over the last year
modificador.
or so, some of our senior developers have been tinkering with a more challenging way to play Path of Exile.
La
We've
liga
been
empieza el día
publicly
9, la
alpha
semana que
testing this
viene.
mode, known as Ruthless, for the last month, and are planning
Claro,
to
pero
make
ya
it
no puedes
available
llamar a
to
un
anyone
cooler,
who's
Razer.
interested,
Ahora si tienes
alongside the
suerte la
launch of the
tienes tú.
Forbidden Sanctum next week. Ruthless is an optional additional character flag, like
A
Hardcore
nadie
or
le
Solo
interesa,
Self-Found,
por
that
favor.
completely changes how
Qué
Path of Exile
asco.
feels to play. Ruthless is a lot more difficult than regular Path of Exile, but it doesn't achieve this by making
Esto es
the
el modo
monsters
de juego
harder
para
to kill.
psicópatas.
It instead focuses on
Si tenéis
reducing character
problemitas,
power through
este es vuestro
extreme
modo de
item
juego.
scarcity, limited crafting, and many other changes such as support gems being drop only. We've posted an article
Qué
about
guapo
the
es, ¿ve?
philosophy and rules of Ruthless on
Me encanta, Es
pathofexile.com/ruthless.
verlo y me
We
emociono,
plan to release this mode
Es verlo y me
alongside the Forbidden
emociono.
Sanctum expansion in a
Mira,
week.
mira, mira, mira.
In addition to
Qué
being a character
proactividad,
flag like
cómo se
Hardcore
mueve
or Solo
todo.
Self-Found,
Uf.
it's also available as a
Tiene que ser
modifier for
genial
private
jugar a
leagues.
esto,
To be clear, the
Fuah.
Forbidden Sanctum League content can be
Mira.
played in Ruthless.
O sea,
with appropriately
literalmente es
balanced
jugar al
rewards.
PoE como cuando jugaste por
Ruthless
primera
is
vez.
still very
Que
experimental
llevabas
during
un
320.
link suelto
We
por
won't be
ahí,
afraid to make mid-league
te recogías
changes to
ítems
it during
raros
this
que no tenían que ver con
experimental
tu build. O
Ruthless is
sea,
not for everyone, but so far it has found a supportive and growing group of players who enjoy the additional challenge that it
qué
brings.
guapo, mira, mira qué
If it
pelea
sounds like
más,
something you're
más
interested
guapa.
in, then
Me
try it out
apetece.
next time you're
Mira
looking
del
for a
loot,
new way to enjoy
2
Path
ítems
of Exile.
azules.
This expansion also contains a number of small quality of life improvements. Some examples are Divine Vessels can now be used by right-clicking them rather than taking them
Vale,
as sin.
vale, me
On the
gusta. En
player
vez de...
overhead life bar, the energy shield bar is split into a separate bar. You can now
Vale.
right-click an itemized Temple of Atsuatl to see its layout.
Vale.
And most importantly, beast crafting recipes that
Vale.
add mods to
Mejoras
flasks now actually say what
chiquitinas.
the mods do.
Vale.
We'll post more information about these and other quality of life.
Ahora podrás ver
in the
qué
leak
hacen los,
release.
lo de bestiar y pasando ratón por encima.
Today we're launching 2 new
Gracias.
series of supporter packs, the Forge and Gemling packs.
Vamos a ver los
Each tier
nuevos
contains the
supporter
pack's
packs.
full
Los
face
últimos
value
eran
and
muy
points, plus
feos.
several exclusive microtransactions. These packs will only be available for the duration of the Sanctum Challenge League and will leave the store forever in 3 months. As always,
No es para
these
ti, Ruthless, Villar,
microtransactions
¿tú
are
crees?
entirely cosmetic and do not affect your character's progression or power. The Forge series of supporter
Skip,
packs
soy
contains
pobre.
6 exclusive microtransactions.
¿Qué?
The Clockwork back attachment ramps up as you build a kill streak, building pressure and releasing it when your streak ends. The Delirious Hideout decoration lets you summon
quieres
delirium
convertirte
from
en
your
una
hideout at will,
locomotora.
complete with strange voices and terrifying apparitions.
¡Eh! 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 Esto en el hideout. ¡Eh! Yo pagaría por esto. Yo pagaría por esto.
The Forge Guard armor set summons a hammer and anvil so that everyone nearby can watch you craft.
No apetece. No.
The ethereal fusing effect
Eh!
turns your item linking attempts into a spectator sport. If you manage to hit a 6 link, people watching are even prompted to send a congratulatory message.
A ver.
Summoning the Crow
Está
Swing
guapo,
portal
eh.
effect causes a murder
No
of
pagaría
crows
por
to
ello,
erupt
pero
from
está
the
guapo.
portal. The portal becomes dormant if you are too far away from it, causing the crows to take to the skies. The High Templar weapon effect smites the undead you fight and scours the souls of those you put to rest. The Gemling Pack series also has 6 exclusive microtransactions. The Beehive weapon effect lets your weapon play host to a swarm of angry bees, which erupt from the hive whenever you hit an enemy with the weapon.
¡Qué asco!
Critical hits cause the hive
Convierte
to
tu arma en
send
una
out its best
colmena.
warriors.
¡Qué asco! Me
The
odio las
Stampede
avispas.
Quicksilver Flask makes you the leader of your own personal rower herd. Activating the flask causes a host of ghostly rowers to charge
Este está
alongside
guapo.
you.
Ese está guapo.
This is the Gemling Artificer armor set. It is inlaid with gems that match the gems you've socketed in your items.
Ah,
Crafting
eso está
gems
guapo.
with gem
Cuantas más
pedestals,
gemas tengas,
Val orbs, or regrading lenses visualizes the process for all to see. This armor set also
Eso está
includes
guapo.
alternate gem
Eso
level
está
up
guapo.
effects.
cuando sube de nivel hace un...
Phosphorus Ring blesses you with a constant shower of coins, and it helps you thank
no me
players you
gusta
traded
tirar
with
dinero.
through a hearty fist bump.
¡Eh! ¡Eh!
The consuming
guapo!
ooze pet bounces alongside you and devours corpses in your wake, spitting out a tidy pile of bones. Finally, this pack allows you to reunite with Kadero Perandus, inviting him to
Eso
your hideout
cuenta
as a
cómo
vendor.
mejora el
In
trade.
addition to buying items from you and using his connections to accept your divination cards, he'll provide commentary on your goods, equipment, and anything else he sees fit to judge you for.
That might be a little too much to drink, even for me.
Han
Kadero
puesto
has hundreds of lines of voice
un
acting.
NPC
What? Oh,
que te habla cuando le vendes cosas.
headhunter.
¿Es posible? ¿O estoy soñando?
Rest. Try to duck when the brain fragments splatter everywhere.
O sea, no estoy drogado, ¿verdad?
To sully your armor.
These new packs are available right now at pathofexile.com/purchase. Purchases like these directly fund the ongoing development of Path of Exile 1 and 2, and we really appreciate your support. Meanwhile, the Knight and Rogue packs leave the store forever in 1 week, so now's your last chance to purchase them.
No me va a dar tiempo a comprar,
The
tío.
Calandra edition of Kirik's Vault Pass is only available until the end of the Calandra
El
week,
Vault Pass.
and will be replaced with a new set of unique items when the Forbidden Sanctum launches. By the way, we're hoping to film Season 11 of Build of the Week once the Forbidden Sanctum comes out. If you want to submit your build for the season, share your build guide on the class forums on pathofexile.com. Next up, we've got the Q&A with Ziggy D. Once that ends, we'll post the full patch notes for the Forbidden Sanctum.
What to expect over the
Over
next year?
week, our community team will post the expansion's challenge rewards, information on how to update your item filters, all new and changed gems, and information on how to prepare for launch. On launch weekend, we expect to release the new mystery box, and we'll follow up with the new Kirik's Vault Pass in the days after launch. Thanks for joining us and checking out the Forbidden Sanctum. We can't wait to join you in Rayclast on December 9th. We'll begin the Q&A shortly, so please get your questions
Bueno,
ready.
y luego miraremos el resumen